So I figured I'd do a sit down video and speak about whether veganism is expensive or not, or specifically a plant-based diet. Is it more expensive than living on a animal-based diet? To shorten the answer, no. It is in fact actually cheaper, and I'm going to explain why. I went vegan at the age of 13 after making the connection between where my values stand and where my mouth stands. You can't be against animal abuse, animal cruelty. When you are eating animals, you are wearing them on your feet, your clothes, and you are using products that are tested on them. So that was the first reason why I went vegan at the age of 13. There's a lot of things that I learned throughout the years. So I do have experience, and especially when it comes to eating. Veganism can be as cheap as you want it to be, and it can also be as expensive as you want it to be. So for example, there are times where I want to go to my favorite vegan restaurant and I can end up spending 80 to 100 bucks on some things that only last me a day or two, right? On some vegan junk food at a restaurant that's expensive, $19 for a double cheeseburger or whatnot, and then $15 for a quesadilla or whatnot, like what I like eating. And then you have, on the other hand, my go-tos, and what you really want to do to have a cheap plant-based diet is to just go for the staples. The staples are the cheapest things possible, the things that you need, the things that are highest in calories and nutrition. So for example, you have your beans, that's a good source of protein. You have your peas, that's a good source of protein. You have chickpeas, good source of protein. You have things like mixed vegetables, good source of protein and minerals. Then you have your mixed berries. Buy these in bulk, buy frozen bananas, things like this. These are all cheap foods in bulk. 5 pounds of vegetables, you can get that at mixed vegetables. You can get that at Walmart for $5 or $6. 5 pounds of vegetables, $5. Your frozen fruit, get it 5 pound, 3 pound bag for around 10 bucks. Make smoothies with it for breakfast throughout the week. Add a vegan protein powder, some minced up flaxseed for extra nutrients and protein and fat. Add that to your smoothie throughout the week, right? Have that for breakfast. It's easy. Peas, you can buy that in bulk. Broccoli, 5 pounds of broccoli. Walmart, get it for $5. Kroger, get it for a little bit more. These foods are very cheap if you know how to manage it properly. Again, 5 pound bags of vegetables are about the cheapest things you can get. You can get a bag of potatoes. That's the cheapest you can get with it. Beans, one pound bag of beans cost me $1.99. I think the Great Value brand at Walmart is 99 cents for 1 pound of beans. Black beans, high in nutrition, protein, good amount of fat and other minerals, right? That's only 99 cents. You can make that, put it in a storage container throughout the week, heat it up, and then you have your meal throughout the week. Make some tofu with it, make some tofu scramble, mix it with it. This is literally how simple it is to be vegan when you just focus on the staples. It doesn't have to be boring or anything. You can just, something I like to do personally is I like to make the beans, I like to make the tofu scramble, mix it together, make a large batch on the weekends, put it in a container, and just have it for the entire week. This is as simple as it can get being vegan. Now, if you're someone on your break who just wants to go and order like a vegan meal or whatnot, it's going to get pretty expensive. Like for me, the vegan restaurants that I go to are expensive. And if I were to order it to wherever I'm at, it'd be way more expensive. Now, again, you can go to your places like Chipotle, Blaze, places that have vegan options, and yeah, it's a vegan option, but you're still spending more money than you need to. So veganism, again, plant-based diet more specifically, is as cheap as you want it to be. Again, this is the simplest way of eating. Again, you just have to focus on the staples. Don't focus on the overly processed foods. You can have those every once in a while, but it's as simple as you can make it in your budget. The reason why I say it's more cost efficient than eating animals is because, as you've seen, eggs have gone up significantly. Eggs are not necessary for human health. They are high in nutrients like protein, omegas maybe, but there are plant-based foods who are high in protein, omegas, and they don't have things like saturated fat and cholesterol, things that are proven to cause cancer and clog your arteries over the years. So therefore, it is an inferior source of nutrients compared to a plant-based protein. Humans fail to realize that you cannot and you do not need to overconsume protein. You only need a certain amount throughout your day, and you only need a certain amount to build muscle. You don't need to go overboard with 200 grams, 150 grams of protein per day. It's not like you can just keep eating tons and tons of protein and your body's going to recognize it. It's just going to pass it through your body, And Another thing, if you go into the dead bodies section in a store, look at the prices of a lot of these, these packages. They're absolutely insane. Like, I've seen a picture on Reddit where someone was, showing like what they got for $26. All they bought was some white bread, some Velveeta cheese, some peanut butter, and then a package of cow flesh, and that equaled up to $26. And I'm looking at the photo, I'm like, what? I can get way more food than that. So where I shop currently, or like me personally, where I shop currently, that's very cheap. I get a tub of tofu, 169, 169, 159. I forgot the exact price. 169 for a tub of tofu. A pound of beans, 199 or a dollar. You can get a 5-pound bag, $5, $6. I forgot the exact amount, but that's a good amount of food for the price that you're getting, especially if you know how to prepare your food. So this is as simple as it gets. Follow the staples and get the foods that are the best nutritionally. Get your starches, get your fruit, and that's literally how simple as it gets when it comes to a plant-based diet. Don't have to go overboard. It doesn't have to be expensive. Again, I've been doing this since I was 13. I'm turning 21 this year. I've been vegan since I was 13. So I've learned things over the years, and I can tell you without a doubt, especially living alone at the age of 19, I didn't grow up rich or privileged. I grew up with a mom who was single. I grew up on welfare and things like that, and I guess what? I'm still vegan. So it just comes down to how much you care. If you don't care and you don't have the urgency to stop supporting the animal holocaust, then it's not going to click. It's just not going to click. But if you have the urgency and you're willing to listen to the information, then it's going to click so fast. Because even though I didn't have all the information I had at the age of 13, especially when it came to eating, I had the will to stop eating animals because I knew how bad it was. And I was watching the documentaries and I was paying attention to the truth. So that's why it was so easy for me to stop eating animals and supporting animal cruelty in all the ways that I was living, whether it be animal testing, clothing, eating. It was so easy to make the switch as someone who has always genuinely cared about animal rights. So that's as simple as it is. Again, take this information and run with it. This is as simple as it has to be, okay? Me personally, I'm all about not overcomplicating things, because that's what happens when there's a lot of confusion involved. Is people just overcomplicating things and overthinking things. It's as simple as you want to make it, but these are the foods you have to look for. Sure, they're not fun to eat at first, things like mixed vegetables, broccoli, but these are the things that are good for you, and these are in fact the foods that are cheap. Go for your bags of grapes, your canned fruits like pineapple. I don't eat much canned fruit, but I like canned pineapple. Go for things of that sort, like for a snack or whatnot. Try out plant-based snacks. Not all plant-based snacks are cheap and whatnot, but they're about the same price that you can get for any other non-vegan bag of chips. So go for things of that sort, but just make it easy. Don't overthink it, and pay attention to what's most important. What's most important is what the animals endure. When you choose to have a non-vegan beverage or a dairy beverage, it's because a baby cow didn't get their milk. Their milk was stolen from their mother that was intended for that baby to be given to you. So think about that next time you want to choose a dairy beverage over a plant-based beverage. These are all things to take in consideration when it comes to caring. Pay attention to the truth and what animals are going through, because if what was happening to animals was happening to humans, it would be the most urgent issue in human history, and nothing could top it. Because it is absolutely astounding what humans do to animals, and innocent animals at that. Because the worst prisoners on this planet do not get treated as bad as animals, which is why it's good to find the urgency to care. So again, I hope this video can help you do that. Take this information and run with it. If you like the video, give it a like, share. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and it helps me continue to make these videos. And if there's any long-time vegans watching this, if there's any tips that you would want to get to people trying to transition or people who have just went vegan, then be sure to include any tips that I forgot. I'm sure I've forgot a couple, but be sure to include any tips that I may have forgot in the comment section. I'd very much appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.